So good morning everyone. So today we are from group 6. Group 6, right? So group 2, we're going to present about question 6. So our presentation will be about the effect of liver fluke infection in Asian countries. So without further ado, let's get on with the introduction. So animal production is an important aspect, especially in the population, because it provides food and also any other benefits as well. So the increment to animal production is important as population demand increases. This parasite will cause a major loss in production. So there are a variety of effects that parasite will cause, such as loss of body condition, it will cause anemia, it will cause reduced growth, reproductive performance, the drop in lactation performance, decrease in draft power, and also it cause some diseases to human and also animal, and also increase in the use of antihelminthics. So as we all know, antihelminthic is used to combat parasites. So farmers use antihelminthics to combat this parasite, but they do so without any provision or supervision from standard guidelines. So this causes antihelminthic resistance to rise, and at the same time, to develop a new antihelminthic is costly, and it's like we are being cornered here. So next. So these are some of the effects of liver fluke on animal draft power. So as we all know, animal draft is any animal that is used for human labor, such as horse, like the picture shown above is a chariot, and one of the most famous animal draft in Asian countries is the use of buffalo. Next. So these are some of the effects of liver fluke on animal draft power. So fasciolasis can exert effect on animal host, lead to production loss, and it will also cause damage by the liver fluke to host. And the other thing is that it causes migration of the adult liver fluke, lead to tissue destruction. It also causes thickening of the bile ducts, which will lead to liver damage, and also bloodsucker liver fluke will cause blood loss, anemia, and continue to cause anemia and hypoproteinemia at the same time. And also it reduces the entire metabolism of the host, which is lethargic, pale, and also weight loss. So in general, it causes losses in animal draft power. So see, these are the example of fasciolasis in a cattle. So we can appreciate on the postmortem observation on the picture shown above. So I'll pass this floor to the next presenter.
Hello and a very good day. I will continue the presentation on the effect of infection of liver fluke on animal production. Okay, the first one is cattle. Infection of liver fluke can cause reduce in dairy production of dairy cattle as well as the meat production for beef cattle. Moreover, it can also reduce the drug power of this animal as well. And not just that, it can also become the infertile for the infected animal. Next is buffalo. Buffalo also affected as it can reduce drug power as well as it can cause prolificacy ability become lower. And then for treatment for buffalo, the cost is also high, therefore it can increase the mortality rate as well. And for the offal condemnation, offal is such as internal organ, for example lungs, liver, there will be condemnation found in the slaughterhouse. Next is this is the table show prevalence of fasciolasis in ruminant reported in Asian countries. Next. As we can see here, Fasciola gigantica haplogroup C found more similar to the hybrid Fasciola flukes. The researchers said that they want to highlight that there is a new hybridized version of Fasciola that can cause resistance toward drugs. Next, and then before this, and then they also emphasize that Cambodia have the most genetic variation among all the Southeast Asia. So they suggested that Cambodia may be the ancestor for this river fluke. This is the chart flow on how the research is done to determine either the fluke is resistant toward the drug or not. So for the hybridized one, if the buffalo even though got the treatment, but still the presence of parasite is still there by doing sedimentation, fecal sedimentation, biochemical indicator or hematological parameters. If they still found fluke even though after the treatment, they can conclude that this animal is resistant toward certain drugs. So for the code, the infection is less prominent and less important, but in certain area of in this world, it can be the major constraint for good production on fasciolosis. For example, in Vietnam, Fasciola gigantica is the main species causing fasciolosis in cattle, human as well as the goat. So this kind of infection can cause economic losses. Economic losses can be considered as direct losses such as drug, treatment, trenches, and as well as labor. For indirect losses, it consists of production losses. For example, in Indonesia, the estimation of the losses runs to $1 million. This disease also can affect human health as well. So, it responsible in public health. Next, I pass to Nadia.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Aisara. Now I will be presenting about effect of liver fluke on human health in Asian, and straight away wrap up this presentation. So first of all, I'll be talking about Thailand, which the main species is Opisthocus viverrini, which is the foodborne trematode parasite, which infect the bile duct and can get infected by consuming raw or undercooked fish, and it can cause cholangiocarcinoma, CCA, a rare tumor of bile ducts, or opisthocaisis due to the culture of eating raw or undercooked fish. Its current prevalence was 17% with expected increase in the next decade, which is now in 2019 because of its tradition. Next is about Myanmar. The main species found in Myanmar is Opisthocus like Metasaccharia, which was later confirmed the Opisthocus viverrini, which also caused cholangiocarcinoma and opisthocaisis. It was first found in sapronid fish in central Myanmar in 2018. It was reported the first case in Myanmar. Next, we go to Vietnam. The Fasciola gigantica is the main species found there and cause hepatic lesion, fibrosis, chronic inflammation of bile duct. There is an endemic region at central of Vietnam where ingestion of raw vegetable and contaminated water was being practiced, and about 500 human cases were reported in 1997 to 2000, and it raised up to 20,000 human cases in 2011. And the hybrid between Fasciola gigantica and Fasciola hepatica were identified in 2016. Next, we go to Cambodia, where Fasciola species is found, and in 2015, the large trematode was found in 106 school children, and 1 out of 221 school children is positive for fasciolosis. And they were treated with triclarbendazole to kill all stages of flukes as early as 2 weeks. But the low prevalence of fasciolosis but high prevalence for large trematode is due to negative found of fasciolosis in most of the large trematode stool, because the LTE was found from the echinostoma, which is caused by the eating of raw clams and fish. Okay, next, I'll be talking about Malaysia, our country. And the fasciolosis cases reported in Malaysia is nearly zero, or never case be reported here, because until 2016, where on 31st May, the 3 cases of human fasciolosis were reported in Tuaran, Sabah. And last but not least, Indonesia, where 6 Australian tourists were infected with fasciolosis during 2011 to 2014, where all of the cases have similarities in aspect of the diets, where all of them consume raw vegetables or mixed salads. And the stool sample does not yield any result due to early diagnosis, and fasciolosis detected by serological tests. The effect was fasciolosis, as well as the symptom is abdominal pain and fever. Okay, in conclusion, liver fluid infections have undoubtedly caused severe health risks as well as significant economic loss. The infection is mostly associated with anemia, which will cause lethargy in animals. Subsequently, animals' trough power as well as production will be greatly affected. In humans, the function of vital organ like liver will be compromised. This will lead to other health risks that may be fatal. This is the list of our references, and that's all from me. Thank you.